Hello, everyone. I actually know some Spanish. But my only problem is that I learned Spanish by watching Univision, which is a television channel in California. So my vocabulary is kind of limited. So I know primer tiempo, segundo tiempo, and falta, and esquina, goal. I know all that stuff. Unfortunately, that's not going to help me with my presentation, so I apologize. I'm going to do this in English. So, but I do know gracias, and I'd like to start by thanking you all. That's better. By thanking you all for being here and listening to us and taking the time off from your busy schedules. But I'd also like to thank you for hosting us, all of us who are visiting this beautiful city, Mexico City. We really enjoyed it. I actually came to Mexico City once earlier, and I spent one day here. So it was like fly in, present, have a very good dinner, and fantastic margarita, and then fly out. It was really tiring. But this time, we've actually had the time to go to the pyramids. And yesterday, we went on the tour bus. And I lost my ticket, but the lady was very nice. She didn't make me buy another one. So thank you for being very good hosts. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank the local team for making this possible and doing such a great job. So if you don't mind, give them all a big hand. So today, I'm here to talk to you about custom search. As you can see, we are in very good hands with the local team here. And today, I'm talking about custom search, which is really something that allows us to put Google search in your hands, in your very good hands. So what is Google custom search? It's actually allows anybody to leverage the Google platform that we've built so that you can exploit it in terms of all the work that's gone into building great algorithms, great search results, provide a customized search experience on your own websites, and target it towards your own content and your own audience. Right? So again, a food analogy. This is something that actually I could use as a survey. So I don't know if pizza is very popular here in Mexico. So is pizza popular? Who loves pizza? Oh, great. That's great. So I have another question. How many? Is it very common in Mexico to kind of take food to go, pizza to go? Like you take pizza in boxes to the house. So this is the analogy that I wanted to create, which is I love eating pizza, and I like different types of pizza. But often what I'd like is specific slices of specific types of toppings. And I want to take it to my house, sit on the couch, and watch a football game or a soccer game. I should say football game or a football game, and enjoy it in my own way. So that's the kind of analogy we have. So think of the slice of pizza here as the whole pizza is really Google search, right? So think of Google search as being the pizza. And then what you'd like to do is to customize that search experience. Take a slice of Google to your own websites. So that's effectively what custom search allows you to do, which is to take the slice that you want, take it to your website. You define what slice it is, your sites, your affiliate sites, your partner sites. Or if you just like soccer, you can create a website, a search engine, or a search experience across 20 different soccer sites or football sites. And then you would like to customize it a little bit more, a little more caliente, right? Put some more toppings on it, make it exactly the way you want it for your audience, for yourself. And that's what Google Custom Search is. You create it and put it on your own website. So you can customize it in various ways. And today I won't go into all the specific details. I'll try to present some of these customizations that you can do. But you can create your own index, as I said. You can create your own ranking. You can tweak ranking so that you can boost specific sites. You can filter out certain sites. You can exclude certain sites. You can drop down certain sites. And then you have customization around presentation as well. So very simple. I can stop the conversation right here by just saying go to google.com/CSE. CSE stands for Custom Search Engine, so you should be able to remember it. But you'll get all the information you need, and all the stuff that I'll be talking about is available here. So that's all you need to know. But let me go ahead and try to take this opportunity to talk about some of these features. So on the left-hand side, you have individuals and organizations, which is you, webmasters. You harness the power of Google search. You create a customized search experience for your own website, your own interests. You can search enable your own website or blog and customize the look and feel so that it looks like part of your website. You can actually get better click-through rates and conversions on your own site through custom search experience, and I'll talk about that, and I'll give you some data as well from a case study, which is very compelling. We have various features. Miguel talked about some of this for the intranet. Think of custom search as being sort of publicly available extranet solution, but it has similar features like key matches, like synonyms, like date biasing, and you have a lot more controls. And as I said, you can monetize it with very relevant ads. And I'll talk about the keywords feature. You can actually tune the ads based on the description of your search engine. So for example, if you have a search engine about cars, then the word Jaguar will give you ads about the car, not about animals. So with keywords that define the search engine, you can actually get far better tuned advertising also on your search experience. We have advanced APIs, so if you're developers and you have programming skills, you can do lots of wonderful things with the APIs. We have various customization options, branding options, support options, and I'll talk about some of that today. And most importantly, you've heard a lot of presentations about webmaster tools and Webmaster Central and forums, etc., and sitemaps. What we have taken the trouble to do is to integrate with those tools as well. So as we move forward, you will see that when you submit a sitemap using webmaster tools, and you have a custom search engine, we will start using that information in the sitemap to automatically improve the coverage in your custom search engine. So you'll see that as we move forward, there was a question here about various Google tools and how we can bring them together. You will see more and more of that happening as we move forward. So just a little bit about intent and context. The most important thing when you're actually trying to issue a search is we're trying to figure out what the user is thinking about. Now, custom search is very relevant to context because when you're in a website, when you're in a specific domain, you already have some idea of the context. So it's very, very relevant in terms of the context. But I just wanted to talk about how context can change depending on the frame of reference. So it's really about me, my community, and my world. So it's getting larger as the context kind of shifts. So what is, when we say you, what does it mean? It means you, your bookmarks, your history. You can have blogs, you can have multiple blogs, my friends, my search. This is a small world around me. And you can actually, a lot of people have created customized search experiences around my information. So when you search my blogs, my friends. So you can actually create a very customized search experience that's very, very personal. And that's one step. So that's the red circle here. But if you take the next step, what's my community? So in the case of you, webmasters, your communities are the users who come to your websites. So you're creating topics of interest. You're talking about real estate. You're talking about airlines. You're talking about travel. These are your communities. Those are your users. And you want to address those users' needs, groups, your websites, your businesses. So you can see that the world is becoming larger. Your user base is not just your friends, but a much larger audience. So the blue circle is a little bigger in terms of the context. And the third thing is your world, right? The language that your users speak, the geography, the location, all the good sites. If, for example, you're trying to create a football site, a football search engine, you have a very large audience in terms of people who love information about football. Maybe football about, Mexico, football clubs. So you can see that your audience might actually be getting larger in terms of the yellow circle becoming larger. Now, the point is, you can create customized search experiences independent of where you are in this kind of continuum. So the user intent is changing with the context. And if you can plug into that context, you can actually create a very rich search experience. So let me give you some examples of this. So one example, again, these are English examples, but I think you will understand what I mean when I say context gives you a lot of signals for better search. So for the Beijing Olympic Games, if you just went to a standard web search engine and you typed in the word Bolt, the Bolt, you would get a lot of results around Bolt manufacturers and about generic bolts and machine parts, etc. There's one result here, right here, the Usain Bolt, which is the person who broke those world records in such style, right? But this is what I'm calling a generic experience. But what we also did at Google was we created a landing page for the Summer Olympic Games. And if you actually, and we created a custom search engine, which you can find on the right-hand corner. And this was built around Olympics-related information. So at this point, if you actually did the same search for Bolt, you actually get a lot of relevant information around Usain Bolt and how he won, the 3 gold medals in style, broke the world records, etc. So this is what I mean when I say context, which is if you know the context is the Olympic Games, which in this case, it was about the Olympic Games, you can actually enrich the search experience out of the box. So another similar example is, there's a lot of action right now in the US about the elections. But if you did a search for, say, nuclear power on Google or any other search engine, you would get a lot of very good research material around nuclear power, Wikipedia pages, and other news results, etc. But similarly, we've created on Google a landing page for the US elections. And we have a custom search engine experience plugged into that landing page. And if you did a search there for the same nuclear power, here you basically get a very much more directed sort of set of results, which talk about what the candidates are thinking about nuclear power and the options there. So that should give you an idea of what context is. And in your case, it's your website. It's your interest. It's your topic of interest. And when you create a custom search experience around your own websites, you are basically plugging in context into the search. So here are a couple of examples in Mexico where custom search is actually being used. And you can actually tell that from the little search box. It has the watermark, which basically is the custom search logo. But you can actually very easily create this kind of experience for your own websites. And there's another site here which does the same thing. So quickly step away from that to talk a little bit more broadly about what custom search offers. As I said, you can always find a lot of information on the websites. That I will point you to, and you'll see some of these examples. But I also wanted to tell you that there are different angles or different kinds of users that we target with custom search, and you can decide where exactly you lie in this. So if you think of custom search as a wheel, it has many spokes, and I'll go over some of these different dimensions. So the first one is if you're a blogger or a webmaster and you want to create some sort of a search experience around your own websites, your own friends, like I talked about. So you actually have experiences built into blogs, and I'll talk about that and give you some examples. The next thing is universities and nonprofits. So a lot of universities have used custom search to create a search engine experience, a search experience on their university product, different departments or different divisions of the university, or even different sort of groups within the university. And universities have a lot of flexibility in terms of providing custom search to their students. Then you have large partners. So you have examples of About.com or IDG. IDG has sites like Macworld, InfoWorld, PCWorld, and they basically have large numbers of publications, and they have specific relationships with Google to provide very highly customized search solutions on their websites, and I'll show you some of that. So these are what we call syndication partners. And they actually get results in XML format. They have much more flexibility. I'll talk about those offerings. The next one is what we call site search, Google Site Search, which is offered to enterprises. And so again, just to clarify, when Miguel spoke about the search appliance, he was talking about the intranet, which has very different needs and demands, security, etc. What we are talking about here with Google Site Search is offerings for the extranet, which is publicly available information that's already out there, that's already indexed by search engines like Google, and you can actually create very quickly a search experience around this content. But again, here, businesses have very specific needs in terms of customization, branding, etc. And so we offer, through Google Site Search, various options. And then we have search-enabled applications. Again, as I said, we have APIs that you can then use to actually plug into your own applications. And there's some very interesting search-enabled applications that expose specific search experiences through their applications. And then finally, you have other application developers who, on the web, create various community-based search engine experiences. And I'll talk about that, some of that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a few sort of screenshots on how they've deployed, so you get an idea of what kind of experiences you can create. But I'll also talk about how, using this product, the custom search product, you can actually do some of these things. So I'm not going to go into details of step-by-step of how to create the engine. You can do that yourself, as I said, in a few minutes. But I wanted to give you an idea of the spectrum of choices that you have. So here, for example, is my own blog, just to give you an idea of what you can do with Blogger. But this is a little blog, and you can see that there's actually a search box, and you can actually have search results inline. This is actually built for you as a widget, so you don't even have to write a line of code. If you have a blog on Blogger, for example, you can configure this widget in minutes, and you can have you have the options of searching not just your blog, but the interesting thing here is it automatically searches everything in the neighborhood of your blog. So your blog, your links from your blog, as well as any blog roles that you might have. So this is a very simple widget or gadget that you can implement very easily without writing a line of code. And the way you do this is on Blogger, you have a little option there to add the search box gadget to your blog. So this is one way of implementing custom search. The next one is an example from universities. So Colorado State University, as you can see, they have a different style. They have a green and white sort of style here. And they wanted to create custom search with a green look and feel so that it looks like the rest of their site. And this customized look and feel is very easy to do, because if you use the control panel of custom search, which you will see this option where you can actually customize the style of the page. And again, in minutes, you can say, I want the color to be this way, I want the background to be this way, and I want the links to look this way. So you actually immediately create an experience that goes out, and you can see this in minutes. You basically have a green look and feel that is very consistent with the rest of your site. The next one is what I was talking about, which is larger partners. Partners, as I said, have a lot more controls in terms of getting the results in XML format if they want it. But here's an example of Macworld, and I want to show you a couple of features. So Macworld is a site where you get a lot of information about Macintosh and Apple-related products, etc. But here, I wanted to point out a couple of features. So you have labels, and of course, you have, because you're typically a publisher, you have the ability to turn on ads, and you would share in the revenues when those ads are clicked. But the labels is a very interesting feature which allows you to create categories of information. So for example, Macworld has created a bunch of these categories for forums, blogs, news, etc. And they can assign specific parts of their site to these different labels. So when people search, they can then drill down into these labels. Click on forums, and they get results only that are specific to forums. So the way you would do this is again, in the control panel, you have a tab which says Make Money. And that is basically where you can associate. If you have an AdSense account, you can basically plug in your AdSense publisher ID. And boom, as soon as you've done that, people who are clicking on your ads, you start sharing in the revenues for those ads. And similarly, again, in the control panel, you have this tab called Refinements. Refinements allows you to create very easily these different labels and assign them, or categories, and assign them to various parts of your site. So if, for example, Macworld knows that specific URLs or URL patterns are about news, they could have, for example, macworld.com/news/star. They could assign that URL pattern to news, and they're done. So this is one example of a very interesting feature, so that if you know, for example, that you have users who are looking for different types of information, you can create those categories. So here is actually an example from Site Search, which is the sort of enterprise offering. And here you have a lot more controls again. You get XML results, etc. But one point I wanted to make here in terms of a feature was you have a lot of controls here. So you have branding optional, so you can actually drop the Google brand. This is a licensed product, so you actually pay a licensing fee, and I can talk about the various options there. But ads are optional in this case. So if you, for example, don't want to provide ads because it's a brand and you want to preserve your brand, you can drop ads. You have this feature called key matches. So for specific searches, for example, if you're looking for long-term insurance or specific types of terms that are very popular on your site, you can promote specific information right on top. And those are what we call key matches. And then you can, as I said, get results in XML format. So then you can actually do further customization with the results. And in this case, again, the user interface for creating these key matches is very, very simple. You basically see it as you type, and as you create it, you see it's a WYSIWYG kind of interface, where you basically type in the title you want, the little bit of snippet that you want to show, and any URL that you want users to click on. So it's very simple, and you can do this again in minutes. Just quickly go back. For information about site search and the various licensing options, you basically go to google.com/site search, and in Mexico it'll be google.com.mx/site search, and you can find some very relevant information about the various licensing options based on your needs. And as I said, you can configure this up and have it up and running in short order. And then you also have, as I said, for developers, we have Google offers the Ajax APIs. And Ajax APIs also support custom search. It's very simple. In fact, we just recently did a blog post on our custom search blog about how you can actually configure the Ajax API to talk to custom search in the back end. But the interesting thing about this is that you have various controls over inline sort of presentation models. And developers have done some very interesting things with Ajax API and custom search. So again, here, some of the important things are you can actually have support for labels, you can have support for ads, and you can actually have the APIs return to you the results using JSON or JavaScript objects. So depending on your level of expertise and comfort, as I said, there are various options, and you should be able to engage with custom search the way you feel comfortable. Now, for information about the APIs, you can actually go to the custom search API on code.google.com, or you can go to the Ajax API on code.google.com. So the URLs are right at the bottom here. Basically, remember code.google.com/APIs, and then you can either say Ajax search or custom search to get specific information about XML formats, about various ways in which you can upload information programmatically, as well as get information back programmatically. And then here, for example, is Topical, which is it's a site that they've created for various search engines. And here there is the aspect of community. And I want to talk about two aspects when it comes to community. First is, in this case, you have search engines or search engine experiences that are created by users, regular users. And they actually add them to their list. And this lists, specific sort of, popular search engines that have been created by their users. But there's also an important aspect of community built into custom search, into the platform, which is that you can have 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, or more than that, kind of collaborate in creating a custom search experience. So a very interesting example here, during the really devastating earthquake in China, a lot of the Googlers who were in China and here and in Mountain View, they basically very quickly created a custom search experience, contributing sites and forums so that people could actually find using names of people to try and help people, who were affected during the earthquake. And that site had like hundreds and thousands of search requests over that week after the earthquake, and really helped a lot of people. So this is a very powerful feature that you can then expose to your communities. And this is very simple. You can actually invite by email for people to contribute to your search engine. So I just wanted to kind of give you a feeling for the various capabilities that are available in the platform that then you can use to really do very, very interesting things. And in fact, you can come up with ideas that we may not have even comprehended. So if you have feedback for us, we'd love to hear about it, about features that you might want to see in the platform that we can then add. So now quickly just going, again, a level higher in terms of the various offerings. But just to give you an idea of what we are doing here with custom search. So if you think of the custom search platform, how does one get the, is this it? OK. So if you look at the custom search platform here, as you can see, it's built on top of the Google search platform. So we take advantage of all the good stuff that's built into Google search. And of course, we're built on top of the Google index. But it's important for you to note also that we have a separate custom index that we also sit on the side. So in some sense, there was a question earlier about, some of my sites are not getting indexed on google.com. One of the things that we now offer through this special custom index is that if you provide a sitemap through Webmaster Tools and you have a custom search engine, we could potentially enhance the coverage of your website for your custom search experience. So it will actually go into the custom index and show up in your custom search results. Note that it will not necessarily show up in the Google index, depending on Google index has its own selection criteria. So I just wanted to be clear about that. And so the other interesting thing is that we have support for sitemaps. So if you've taken the trouble to create a sitemap and you've submitted it to Webmaster Tools like Adam and Ben talked about, we will automatically honor those sitemaps and implicitly understand that, hey, this custom search engine needs this sitemap. So as you start developing sitemaps, you should start seeing enhancement in your custom search results. So as I said, on top of custom search platform, we have the Ajax APIs and the CSE APIs. We have the AdSense for Search product, AFS, you might be familiar with it. AFS is now built on top of custom search. So when you go to AFS and create a search engine, you can actually create a customized search engine and customize it even further. And then the enterprise offering is what we call site search. And because of our integration with Webmaster Tools, if you provide a sitemap, we will actually start honoring it. So you will see a lot more improvements as we go forward in terms of our indexing capabilities. I'm very excited about some of the work that we are doing there. And you can see that the performance of your search engine, the quality, will actually start going up as well. So quickly, again, going over the products that I talked about, just so you know, we have site search. The key features here are ads optional, branding optional. It's licensed, so you pay a licensing fee. It's an annual licensing fee. And then you have XML results if you want them. And you have support, so you actually have tech support from Google as well. Then you have for publishers who want to monetize using ads, you basically have the ability to turn on ads. You get a rev share with these ads. And you have options. So if you can actually do this online without it's just an online offering. You can go and do this yourself. And you basically get an iframe that you plug into your website. But if you are a large syndication partner, you can actually have a direct relationship with Google. And there you can actually get XML results as well. And that's basically AdSense/AFS. All these URLs, you should be able to access google.com.mx for the local version as well. And then, as I said, for developers, you can get all the information at the standard custom search page. But you can also go to the APIs/custom search or APIs/Ajax search. So that should give you an idea of the layout of the product options available to you, and you should be feel free to figure out where your needs are. So very quickly, I want to kind of show you a customer experience, and this is eHealth Insurance, and let's see if we can get the audio on as well.
Hi, my name is John Salona, Vice President of Product Management of eHealthInsurance.com. eHealthInsurance.com is the leading online source of health insurance for individuals, families, and small businesses in the U.S. Our company was the first one to create an online shopping experience for the health insurance vertical. We were an early adopter of Google Site Search because we knew that Google Site Search is a product that consumers have come to expect to find when shopping online. So not having it was potentially costing us business. To demonstrate, here are two random website visitors, Chris and Austin. Both customers who want to know if short-term health insurance includes dental and vision benefits. Chris likes the look and feel of our website and wants to navigate through the links to get his answer. Austin, on the other hand, sees the search box right away and doesn't waste any time. Let's compare. 3 seconds, and Austin has his answer. With Google Site Search, our customers can really find our products and have access to relevant information. At the same time, with Google Site Search, we have been able to gather feedback from our customers. This feedback has been of great help to us to design our product roadmap. Chris is still navigating. Chris has also now found his information after 32 seconds. Pretty respectable, but certainly nothing close to the efficiency of Google Site Search. I hope you enjoyed our demo. Test it out with your site and notice the difference.
So hopefully that gives you an idea of the value of search on your own sites. So this is an important point I wanted to make around metrics. After all, your websites you're creating for your users, and your metrics are important to you, and this is about your business. So it's very important to understand that you can actually monetize not just by providing ads on your website, but providing very relevant ads on your website. And also the relevant search results on your website. So the first part, the first bullet out there that I'm talking about here is better search quality. So when I say CSE, again, I'm talking about custom search engine. What we found, this is one specific case study with a very large partner. And in this particular case, one thing we've noticed is that the average query length, the number of words that people are typing on the custom search engine, is actually significantly lower than if they didn't use custom search. And this is very important because, as I said again, the context is very relevant. And people are actually finding information with smaller, shorter queries than with longer queries. So this kind of leads to indicate that you actually have better quality results when you implement custom search. The other point was also that you have a higher total number of clicks. So we actually had more engagement of their users on their site. The second bullet here is about custom search engine keywords. So actually, when you create a custom search engine, you can specify certain keywords. So in the case that I talked about, if you're creating an automobile site, you can actually say, this is about automobiles, vehicles, cars, etc. And that can help tune both your search results quality as well as your ads results quality. And the interesting thing here was, this is information that we have around the ads quality that they had after they implemented keywords. And when they had keywords, they basically had both higher coverage as well as better click-through and RPM. So it's not just about showing more ads, but actually about showing targeted ads that are specific to the topic of that website and getting better CTRs, better conversions, and keeping their users happier. So these are some of the graphs. That this should be important to you, because as you start thinking about engaging your users and being able to then provide more value for yourself, as a business, as well as for your users, you can see that this kind of solution has a lot of merit. So webmasters, I have a few questions for you and a little bit of a homework assignment. Let's just see a show of hands. How many of you don't have any search on your site? I see just a few. Now, it's very important for you to not be in the minority. So next time when you come to a conference like this, you don't want to raise your hands, because you need to have search on your site. People are expecting it. People have gotten used to it. They actually need to see that search box on your site. Next question, how many of you don't have custom search on your site? Wow, I'm actually just a small number. That's great. So I've actually wasted my time. All of you know about custom search already. So let me repeat my question. How many of you don't have custom search on your site? Just raise your hands. OK, so for you folks, I have a question and a homework assignment, and actually a homework assignment for all of you. How many of you have 5 minutes to spare? Come on, come on. Come on, you've got to have more than 5 minutes to spare. So go to the custom search URLs that I talked about, play with the product, create a custom search engine of your choice, just for fun, and play with the product and get familiar with it, and you'll see that you can actually create a very compelling experience in 5 minutes. And then you can decide what you want to do with it. So that's all I have. Thank you. And as I said, I started with pizza, but if you do the 5-minute operation that I talked about.
¿Qué tal? Muy buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Gabriel Martínez. ¿Qué diferencia básica hay entre lo que es el Ad Sensor for Search y lo que es el Custom Search que me estás manejando? Aparte de que en el AdSense tenemos ingresos. ¿Hay alguna diferencia básica en los resultados o en el efecto que tiene el motor de búsqueda de nuestro sitio?
So just to clarify, AdSense for Search was an existing offering, and it allowed you to create an option for putting either Google search or site search on your site. It was very specific about those two options. What we did very recently, I think about 3 or 4 months back, was we basically started powering the AdSense for Search platform with custom search under it. So now what happens is when you come to AdSense for Search, you basically have the option to create a custom search engine experience, and then you can further customize it. So you can have all the colors and your control of style. You have all the different features that I talked about available to you. So you have much more power. Now, the reason AdSense for Search is something that advertisers sometimes or publishers sometimes like is because they get a lot of reports. So AdSense for Search gives them a lot of advertising reports in terms of revenues and what kind of click-throughs they're seeing, and a whole bunch of reporting information that we don't generally offer through the normal custom search platform. So this is additional value add on top of custom search from reporting perspective. But functionality-wise, the kind of search engine you can create with AFS or AdSense for Search today is exactly what you can do with custom search. It's effectively the same platform that's powering both.
My question is about the XML APIs. Some time ago, there was an API for Google results, different from this. You needed a key to use it, but now it is deprecated. In this version of custom search, you had the restriction, so you couldn't use, for example, the Google API with the Yahoo API at the same time. There was a site called yahoogle.com that instead of using both, used the results in 2 different frames. This version has any kind of restriction like that.
So I can try to clarify. So the first thing is I think you're referring to the SOAP API that Google was offering a few years back. Yeah. That has been deprecated. I don't think that's in use anymore. You cannot use that today. We do provide results through XML format and through APIs. And there are restrictions in terms of service. For specifically, if you're monetizing the results, you have to use you can either use your own house ads. So if you, for example, have your own ads from your own company, you can provide those ads, or through AdSense. So it's built into using AdSense for search, basically the ads that Google provides for those keywords. You have to monetize using those networks or your own. You can't use competitive networks. So that is definitely a restriction on the terms of service.
I have a simple question. Maybe I don't see in your slides, but I'm so lazy to make some modules. The site search has some type of plugin or module that I can add to my Drupal or Joomla or WordPress or another CMS.
So are you talking about external content, or are you talking about intranet content? Because
external content.
Sorry, external content?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're publishing, are you talking about when you publish the content, do you have any hooks in terms of being able to index it?
Yep.
So one thing that I mentioned was sitemap support. So a couple of things. The first is if you're publishing the content, all you effectively need to do is to make sure that that site is being indexed by Google. We've talked about various solutions in which you can make sure that we discover your site, as well as we know about the links, so we can crawl the information. It's the same. Right now, custom search is sitting on top of the Googlebot crawler. So whatever is accessible to Googlebot is accessible to custom search. So make sure that the same robots.txt principles, the same sitemaps information, etc., is all submitted. So we basically have the same coverage as Google.com. In addition, as I said, if you do submit sitemaps, there are certain special things that we are starting to do for custom search. So please make sure you do that. So if you have a content management system that you're using to publish the content, then what I would suggest is that as you publish the content, write a little module that also publishes the sitemap and updates the sitemap. And that would help you get better coverage on your custom search engine. So I hope that answers your question.